Today we're going to populate the work section with real live content, and we're going to make the content switch out depending on what thumbnail you click when it slides in and out. You remember the sliding bit from last week? That's what we're doing today, content in it. So we're going to be using a technique called Ajax. Ajax stands for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. It will allow us to dynamically change out the content of the page without refreshing the browser, which gives us that really quick and modern feel. Now, when I was learning JavaScript years ago, Ajax was always that weird and scary thing that never made much sense to me, but I'm sure that you will like how simple this is going to be. And before we start, once again, I'd like to give my big shout out and thanks to the artists who have given their permission to use their work in the portfolio as placeholders in this theme and on these videos. Links to their respective projects are in the video description here and on the project readme file on github.com. Let's get ready to hack! I have here a folder full of images that we'll be using in our portfolio. Some of them are longer images using the whole image for the one post, and some of them are a folder full of smaller images that together create the entire project. So right now we have to get this content into our folder structure in our project. And the first one we're doing is Typo International Design Talks, and that one was done by Mikhail Butel. And he has a series of JPEGs here, and he also has a little bit of text that we can put into the project. So when we go to the project, we'll go into the Assets, Images, and find Work and Project 1. It should already have the thumbnail there, and we're going to put images 1 through 5 into the Project 1 subfolder. All right, and then I'm going to create a new directory, new folder. And I'm going to call it work, and inside there I'm going to create a new file and I'll call it work-1.html. Okay. Now in this HTML file I'm just going to quickly create the content that I want to show up in the project. I have a paragraph from his project from Behance, and also I have a few images that I can put in there. The source, remember again, the path is going to be assets, image, works, section, project, -1, and then the images are image 1 through image 5. So it's going to be img1.jpg. Okay, it's going to be all right. Now there's what, 4 or 5 of these things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I think that we want to put this one above the paragraph. So now that we have the work document set up that we want to have for this Typo International Design Talk thumbnail, click it into, we want to see that content there, okay? That's going to be in this include in the work section. And that's right here. Find that work container, and then the work return is the little back button, and then there's our headline. So right under that, for the actual content, we'll say div class project load. This is where we're going to load our projects, and these can actually just get rid of these, and then we'll close that div off. All right, and then h4, we'll give this a class of project title. Okay. That looks about right. Okay, let's go over to our JavaScript now. We're going to be writing some more JavaScript this week. Okay, so the last thing we did was write this work belt. And that's how you get back and forth between the work section and the thumbnails. Right now we're going to create the JavaScript that's going to allow us to dynamically load in the projects. So for example, the first one we made was work-1 .html, and this is how we'll do it. We'll say let's call this function work load, and then we'll create a new function down here, function workload. All right. So now before we start bringing in content, we want to tell the browser that we want to cache the content, and I'll tell you why in just a few seconds after I show you how to do it. So we want to say Ajax setup. I forget these because I don't do it a lot. Nope. Yep. And then we just write cache false. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so what that does is it tells the browser to, actually we want cache true. Okay, so if we were bringing in really random things like random blog posts or random products on your your e-commerce site, we would not cache it because we don't want to load up our cache with random things that are just you're only going to see once upon a time. But these projects, there's only 8 options and they don't change. You're not adding comments to it, or you're not. They're just going to be kind of the same every time you want to see them. So it's okay to cache it. It'll make it a little faster when you're going back and forth between them, especially for somebody who's seen it already. So cache, we're going to turn that on. Right now, this click here, let's say, same thing. Thumb unit dot click. All right, now here's the magic. We need to set up a few variables. The first one is going to be called spinner. And this will be the spinner, the little graphic image you'll see before any of the HTML comes in from our work project. Let me show you where to get that. I'll just Google a single element CSS spinner. This one here. This is good. I like these dots. These are fun. So I'll view source and grab that right there. And that's it. That's all the HTML that I need because it's a single element spinner, but I do need to create the CSS to allow that spinner to animate and to look good right there. So go into our SAS and our tool, because it's not something I'm writing, it's like a vendor. New file, spinner. And I'll say SCSS so I don't have to worry about the brackets and stuff. He's giving me vanilla CSS, so I can put it in a SCSS file and it'll be just fine. Save, and I'll put that in the tools directory. Spinner. Okay. That should take care of that. If it does have a problem, we'll go back to it, but I think that's fine. All right, we have a spinner variable, and now we need to choose the document that is going to be loaded in. So this will be called new HTML, I guess, and equals, and we just want to point this to the path of, ooh, this should be a single quote, and this will be a single quote too. Okay. The reason I did singles is because these are going to be doubles here in the class. So anyhow, new HTML is going to be the new path that's going to be injected in. Right now we only have one, and its path is going to be /work/work-1.html. Yeah, I think that works. And now we'll write the really small code that will actually load in that HTML snippet that's inside of work1, and that looks like this: $jQuery, and we want to identify that the section we want to do is a project load. Okay, project load, and then we'll say load the new HTML. Simple as that. Really easy. Oh, before we load it in, we want to quickly inject that spinner, and then after that spinner is there, and then after the new HTML is ready to load, it'll just overwrite the spinner because it comes later in the function, and it overwrites whatever the HTML is there. So let me show you how that will work. I think this is it. Is that it? So the click happens. Load the variables. It's variable 1, variable 2. Project load. Yeah, I think this should be good. Let's check it out. And refresh. Click. Oh, look at that. It worked. Kind of. The URLs to these images is not working. Let's go check out our HTML. Why not, guys? Assets, image, work, project. Oh, I said proj. That's what's up. Proj1. All right, let's try now. Oh, come on, guys. For some reason, it's not. Oh, because it's cached. Is that it? I think I Ajax cached myself into a bad spot. Let's try it now. Because I opened the DevTools, and when you have these DevTools open, you can turn caching off when the DevTools open. So, there we are. That was it. Okay, so that was pretty funny. Caching. So this guy here, I neglected to have changed that top one here. So proj. Okay. Proj1. There we go. Okay, so that looks pretty good, huh? Cool. Let's do number 2. What is that going to be? That's going to be called city in website. And I have this one right here. So I'm going to go to proj2, put this city in website. And I'm going to copy that. I'm going to make a new file in work. Call it work-2.html. You guys can name these whatever you like, but this naming structure, you'll see in a few seconds that it's intentional. What is the path again? Assets, work, proj-2 -this, and this is called city in. All right, and this is like all the whole HTML should be. Because it's only going to be one of those with one long images. But if you have in your project a lot of images or even paragraphs, whatever, just put them in there. In fact, I want to wrap this in a paragraph. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Okay, let's test it out. Typo International Design Talks. We're going to click and yeah, that's just exactly what I wanted. Let's try another one of these, even though I know we don't have the information. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So because here in the code we've hardwired the URL to always be here, work1, the output, project will always be work1, but I can, in the meantime, change this headline. If I go back to that code, I can, I want to cache my this, and I'm not going to tell you much more about it other than to say that this is probably a good idea. Every time you want to use and reuse the object of this, you want to cache it like that so you're not dipping back into the pool there. This represents the thing you clicked. So in this case, it's going to be thumb unit. So I want to say, oh yes, this. Oh, the new variable is going to be called, by the way, it's going to be called new title. Title. And it looks like this. This dot find, let me look at that markup. I think it's strong. Yeah, strong. And then text. So I'm going to find the text that's in the strong tag. And I'm going to say that's a variable of new title. And then I want to load in project title. That's going to be that H4 right here, right? Where are you? Oh, right here. Project title, H4. You're right. Project title, text. And then in there, I can say new title. And if I'm right about this, it should say Typo International Design Talks, and then it should say crispy icons. Ah, darn it, what happened? Crispy? What the heck? Am I caching myself out again? I'm going to turn this cache off. Disable cache. Am I just doing this wrong, or did I have a failure? Refresh. All right, what happened? New title. Oh, it's lowercase. Capital, buddy. Has to be exact. Refresh. All right, there we go. So the title changes right here. It should be flat mobile UI UX concept. Great. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted. Back in our functions file, we've hard-coded this HTML path into it. And this needs to be 2 if this wants to work. So when we look at our work loop, we can see this variable of projects folder is what's changing the thumbnail. So let's stash that data folder equals that. Now when I refresh, you should see each of these guys right here having a property called data folder with the project number on it. All right, now we can dip into that and use that to identify which HTML page we should be using, because it'll correlate. So project 1, I'll actually change this from work 1 to proj 1. It'll just be a little bit easier that way. Proj 2. And then back in my functions file, we'll say new folder, I guess, yeah. This dot data folder. So that will come out as we want to take new folder. See, so this variable is going to pull out that information, which in the case of clicking the second icon, this new folder variable will spit out or print out the text proj-2, which is what I want to be here. So I'm going to close these quotes, do some addition, and kind of like add in my variable right there. Okay, cool. So refresh. I'm going to click on number 2, and hopefully my city in website will be the populated in my project. Good, good. And the title? Great, great. Okay, I'll do number 3 with you guys one more time, and then I'm just going to quickly go and do these all on my own. So I'm going to create a new file here, proj-3.html. All right, and number 3 is going to be crispy icons. So find crispy icons, take them over to proj3 images, and dump that in there. Proj3, it's an image, and that's in /assets, images. What's this next one called? Oh yeah, work /proj3 /that, and it's called crispy icons. Oh, super awesome. Okay, now I'm just going to speed up the camera and run through the other 5 of these things here. All right, as a review, we've got all of these HTML pages kind of populated with their respective content, and that can be as many images. It can be images and paragraphs. You can put titles in there. You can embed videos in here. You can do whatever you like. I got projects 1 through 8 filled out with their respective content. I'm using the assets still to maintain the assets here. And I'm using this jQuery function to pull in the specific project dynamically depending on what thumbnail you click on. And that is how we populate the work section. Looks pretty good, looks pretty good. I'm really happy with this. Okay, that concludes the work section in the artist theme thing that we're doing. Next week I have a super special video planned for you guys, so I really hope you tune in for that. And then the week after that we're going to be in the next section of the artist theme, which is the client section or the testimonial section. And that is going to be super fun, awesome, so please tune in for that also. I will see you then. Keep on hacking.